Well folks, a very good morning to you all and welcome to the channel on this very pleasant April morning. Blue sky, sun, current temperature is 14 degrees centigrade. Very excited today because today my local Triumph dealer, courtesy of Tony, has actually said come on down to the dealership and take out the Triumph Rocket 3. So that's what we're going to do today, is have a little go on the Triumph Rocket 3, and I'm quite excited about this. Let's go down to the Mansell Collection and try out the Triumph Rocket 3. Woohoo! So there she is, all waiting for me. Really looking forward to this one. Oh dear, what have I let myself in for? Right, so let's go and sign some paperwork and take it out for a bit of a demo. Woohoo! So the only thing that this has got different to a normal GT is they've just got the mid pegs down here and not the forward pegs. So I think that's about a £400 option if you want to go from the forwards to the mids for this bike. But obviously just chat to your dealer and they may be able to do it free of charge. So the differences between the GT and the R version: the bars are slightly different shape, so they're a bit more upright towards you a little bit. You've got the little fly screen on the front here. The seat height is just slightly lower, so that's 750mm. I think the other one is 773 on the R. And then the wheels, well, they've just sort of made them, they've machined the wheels on the spokes and the rims, so they're a little bit more shiny than the standard black ones that are on the R. So everything about this bike is big, so lots of big numbers. So I think what we'll do, the weather is really nice, sun's out, dry roads, full tank of fuel. Let's jump on the bike and go for a run on the Triumph Rocket 3 GT. Bosh. First impressions, yeah, I'm 5'9" and I can flat foot it absolutely no problem at all. So it's keyless ignition on this one, so basically switch the bike on, it'll do what it needs to do. Hello. So everything's pretty much good to go, so let's fire the beast up. Wow. Burble, burble, burble. Wow, just listen to that. That's quite impressive. Right, I think what we'll do is let's go to town, quick 5 minutes riding around town, and then what we'll do is we'll go find some Twisties and then do a little bit of cruising. How does that sound, folks? So without further ado, let's take the bike out for a little bit of a run. What a glorious day. As I say, this has got mids fitted to the bike. The standard one does come with the forward foot pegs. So let's see what it's like with the, I'm just going to say, standard foot pegs that most motorcyclists are used to. So everything about this bike, stay there sir, everything about this bike is big. Big engine, that's the main thing about this bike. It's massive, 2.5 litres or 2458cc or something like that. And it produces about 164 foot-pounds of torque. And, or was it 163 foot-pounds of torque and 164 brake horsepower. So yeah, large numbers, about 221 newton meters of torque. Hello sir. So it's massive, but what's it like to ride? I mean, it's an expensive bike right off the bat, folks, so you don't need me to tell you about this bike. So this is just come along for the ride. I just feel privileged to actually be able to take one of these out. So we're going to go into town and then head out, find some Twisties, open road, and if you fancy coming along with the riding experience with me, then stick around, put the kettle on, and we'll go out for a bit of a run. So I'm going to say I think I'm a fairly experienced motorcyclist, so I'm a little bit nervous about riding this thing, but do I need to be nervous? I don't know, we'll have to wait and find out. So let's go and find some high streets and things around the town area. But first of all, I am in sport mode, so it comes with four modes. So you've got sport, rain, road and rider selection. Okay, so I've just left it in the sport mode, and yeah, let's just go around town. So I'm 5'9", 12 stone, average kind of build, average kind of length legs, and the mid pegs, yeah, I would say really comfortable right off the bat. Mirrors pretty good, bar end mirrors, yeah, really good. So let's go and let's have a little pootle around town. very comfortable. The R version has got slightly flatter bars. I sat on the R version in the showroom there, not much difference, but again, if you've got one of these machines or you're lucky enough to have one of these machines, just make any comments in the comment section down below, because I guess lots of people who have these are going to be looking at YouTube videos and just seeing what other people think of them. I think my missus would kill me if I bought one of these, but it's very nice. Straight away it just feels really comfortable. The bar position is fine. Yeah, it's really good. Quite like it. Quite like it. But it's early days yet, folks. Put it into neutral, nice and smooth, and 5'9" and easily flat foot it. Again, this seat is about 23mm lower than the R version. Do you like it, sir? Would you want one? Would you buy one? Would you buy one? Yeah, not bad, is it? Oh, listen to this. 2.5 litre. It might be too big for me. Have a good day. Wow, I think this is what this bike is all about, you know. Look cool, go around town, pose a little bit, and everybody comes to have a chat with you. How cool is that? It's a shame he wasn't blonde, female, and wearing a bikini. I'd have asked him to come on the back. I don't know if I can put that in the video. My wife might see that. Anyway, yeah, I think this is a bike that's a bit of a head turner. That was totally unscripted. Yeah, gearbox, nice. Vibration on tick over 1,000 revs. Yep. And just, you get the torque reaction from that 3-cylinder engine, just rocks the bike a little bit. And apparently the shaft drive goes the other way or something, just to counteract when you're on the move, that sort of torque effect. So slow handling wise, clutch wise, not a heavy clutch, not a light clutch, mid-range kind of feel clutch, but absolutely handles no problem at all. Nice. So you'd have no problem riding this around town. The only thing you might get is, noticed already from the exhausts, is on my leg down here. You can just feel the bit of warmth going onto the inside of the lower leg, and in fact my jean is just touching the heat shields there. So yeah, but you'll get used to that. I think you'll get used to that. Again, make any comments in the comment section down below. And it's got a slightly longer wheelbase with the bit like a chopper front wheel really, so it's sort of out there in front of you, but it's all right. And you won't have any problems riding this around town if that's your thing. The only thing you might have an issue with is that engine's going to get fairly warm on your right hand leg. I can feel it now, but it's a 2.5 litre engine. Be rude not to do this. Wow. So I've actually gone into the menu before we set off and just killed the, might be the wrong word, and got rid of the self-cancel indicators. So I'm just doing the indicators myself. And as I said before, it's in sports mode. And it was fine around town. So I think what we'll do now is go and find some open roads, some twisty roads, and just have a look at the handling, then park up somewhere, and then just go through the bike from front to rear and just point out some salient bits, as they say. But at the moment, handles really well for a big bike like this, and we're talking big everything really. Big wheels, big engine, big torque, and dare I say it, a big price tag as well. So let's go and find some twisty roads. Okay, now so we are out of town and we're just going to go through some twisties. So I've actually had time just to dial myself in with the bike, and as we said before at the dealership, it's a big bike with big numbers, so I've now got used to the bike pretty much more or less. So used to the braking, and from the Brembo Stylium and monoblock brakes at the front, for a big bike they certainly do slow you down. Quite predictable, and for me they've got enough bite. But through the twisties, let's see what the bike does then. And that torque sort of from about 3,500 revs onwards, yeah, it's almost like, don't laugh folks, it's like the hand of God reaches down and he's going to go bowling, and he's going to use you as a bowling ball. It really is quite addictive. and these roads are quite rough, and the suspension is doing a good job of sorting it out. A little bit on the firm side for me, but I think it's show of front and rear. But we'll pull over somewhere, we'll park up, and we'll just go through a bit more of a detailed analysis of the bike. But it is it's great fun, it really is, and that torque is very impressive. But for a big bike, it handles really well. I've ridden the BMW R18, and yeah, that didn't handle particularly well. And the thing with that is, with those twin cylinders, if you've got big feet, your feet are going to start hitting the cylinder heads, and you can't have forward foot pegs on those. But these have got the mids on them, and it's a really comfortable position, it really is. And if you're taking somebody on the back, if they were dumb enough to go on the back, because it's that little bird perch on the back of the feathered variety, that is, yeah, I wouldn't want to sit on there. But you can, there's loads of options you can get for this bike, but I wouldn't want to be a pillion on this. And the GT has got that little backrest as well, and you would need that certainly to stop your pillion falling off the back when you hit that sort of 3,300-ish rev, and then it just sort of wants to go. Yeah, the hand reaches down and throws you down the bowling alley. But the bike, just for a big bike, bit of counter steering, you know, and I'm glad it's got a bit of a hump on the seat there just to stop you from sliding backwards, and it flipping just goes, you know. It is a rocket basically. I think the optional quick shifter would be a really good idea, really good idea, just so it's something less for the brain to process. But yeah, what a fabulous bike, a muscle bike, raw, and all that kind of stuff. Whether it be my main bike, yeah, it depends where you live, what you do, I have no idea. But if you've got one of these, make some comments, folks, in the comment section down below. Would you have this as your daily rider? I presume not. You know, it's an expensive bike. If you stop, well, one, you buy it, and then two, you put all the accessories on it, it's going to get mucho bucks-o. But through the Twisties, it just really handles well, and that acceleration, no cops around. Yeah, it's just very quick, really is quick, and stops really well. That is just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And the thing I've noticed is, I'll have to blur a lot of this out, and the thing I've noticed is it sort of makes that its own sort of 3-cylinder pop 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 tune as you slow down. It's sort of like, yeah, it's really bizarre. And what a glorious day to be out in the rocket. It doesn't really get much better than that, does it? And see that 3-cylinder engine, the torque just twists. Yeah, but for a big bike, handles very well. And I do like those mid pegs. I don't think I'd like the forward pegs that it comes with as standard, but we'll talk about that when we park up and go through the bike. But what a machine, what a machine. I think it would be a second bike kind of thing for these beautiful sunny days. And this is, in fact, I might turn around and come back the other way because it's such a nice view as well. It's one of the best views on the island, actually. And of course, where I live, got 40 mile an hour speed limit. But it just handles, for a big bike, it really does handle well. It really does handle well. You know, big tyres, big engine. Was it 240mm back tyre? Like a car tyre on the back, really. And it just handles so well. It really does. You could do a bit of posing on this. Like that old boy in town, he came up to him, admired the bike. So that'd be interesting to park up somewhere and see how many people look at it. I've said it before, but for a big bike, it really handles very well, very well. And I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. ride it like a rocket or just enjoy the view. The choice is yours. So we've got a big engine, long wheelbase, lots of electronics. Let's see what it does. Oh, you shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed. Deary me. OMG. Flippin' Nora. I'm gonna have to have a cup of tea. Deary me. Wow. Oh, that's silly. That really is silly. But you can ride it like a rocket or you can ride it slow. It does everything. It really does. I really, really like it. It's nice. Well, that's all the twisty bits done, and boy oh boy does that bring a smile to my face. A couple of things there. You can actually get very enthusiastic with riding the bike and you forget how heavy it is, and a couple of times there sort of taking the speed off with the front and back brakes, and you could just feel the ABS just kicking in on the back wheel there, because it, for such a big bike, you just, yeah, I don't know how they've done it, but yeah, you just want to ride it, either ride it slow or ride it fast. But yeah, lots of weight, big numbers, and yeah, you can feel the ABS just kicking in if you're a little bit over exuberant in your riding, shall we say. But it's because the bike's so good for its size, it just sort of goads you on to want to go for it. But yeah, twisty bits, well done Triumph. You lucky people that have bought one of these, yeah, you're going to be smiling quite a bit. In relation to the suspension then, yeah, again, it's got adjustable show suspension front and rear. I don't know what this is set at, just presumably factory settings, but I'd suggest, as always, just play around with it a little bit to get it dialed into your weight, etc. But not uncomfortable, not as plush as my BM GS, but it's a different kind of bike. But yeah, I'm going to say it's firm at the moment. You know, the firmer side of medium, shall we say, just sort of, yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's nice, I like it. The brakes are, yeah, the front brakes are pretty good for a big old machine. Back brake, yeah, it's got plenty on there, but as I said, I had the ABS kicking in because it makes you want to ride it quick, you know. But it's happy just pottering around or going like a rocket. All the controls I find fine. I'm not a great lover of the cube thing down here. I never have been. But all the controls are nice. I mean, even down to the fact that they hide the wiring internally is really nice how they finished it. But I think what we'll do is we'll just pull over somewhere and we'll just go through the specs of the bike, and then we'll do a bit of cruising and then take it back to the dealer. But at the moment, very nice bike. So let's talk about the specs of the bike. Bosh. So I'm having fun on the bike, so let's just take this opportunity of going through a few specifications which I've written down. I can't remember all these facts. So anyway, I'm out having really a nice time on this great bike. So let's just go through the rocket then. So 2004 was the first rocket came out, so we're 2023, so this version came out in 2020, and it's actually the largest production motorcycle engine capacity, and it's 2,458 cc. And behind me, my two German shepherds are going nuts. Boys, come here, come, Kira, come. They're rolling around like lunatics. Come here, come on. Anyway, so it's got the highest torque of any motorcycle at the moment being produced, and it's 163 foot-pounds of torque, and that's at 4,000 RPM, and it redlines at 7,000 RPM, and horsepower wise it produces 164 horsepower. So yeah, top speed is about 139 miles an hour, and they actually call this a muscle roadster. So yeah, remember the Yamaha VMAX back in the day? I remember that, and it's pretty much in that category. So you have two flavors. You have the R version and this one, the GT, and this one UK RRP is 22,695, but this is the Silver Ice and Storm Grey. That's going to cost you another £600. And then if you've got these mid-foot controls, you might have to speak to your dealer to see if you can come to some agreement, but it normally comes with the forward controls. This has got the mid controls, and I really like those actually, and that's another 440 quid. So this bike as it stands, it's going to cost you a lot of money actually. 23,733 quid. Doesn't sound much, does it? Hey guys, come here, come into the shot. doesn't sound much at all. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but as I'm out riding the bike through the Twisties, having a lot of fun, I'd like to have one in my garage actually. So the difference is, we touched on them as we left the showroom. So basically this one's got the GT's got the fly screen, we've got the slightly swept back bars, a lower seat, so this is 730, the R is 773, and just to give you some idea folks, I'm 5'9", easily fat footed, not a problem at all. Guys, stop whinging. So yeah, slightly lower seat height, and you've got the pillion backrest. The seat here, there's no way I'd want to go on the back of this, but if you do, there's something on the back to stop you falling over. Plus I guess you could put a bag on the back and strap it there, and that way the bag doesn't fall off the back. So that's the difference as well. So that's part of the GT package. And then the lovely big wheels, they come with sort of machined edges on the spokes and the rim of the wheel. So that's basically the difference between the two, the R and the GT. So we've got the latest TFT. That would be something I'd say maybe they could have done that a little bit nicer. They could have maybe did a bit retro, but each their own I suppose. But it's got all the information you need on it. You've got optimized cooling, ABS and traction control, so all based on the lean sensor inside. And then you've got 4 riding modes: rain, road, sport and rider configurable. I've been riding it today in the sport mode, and it's been a lovely day, as you can see, no issues whatsoever. And we've got LED lighting all the way around. I have used the hill control on this at standard, and that's really good actually at the lights on a bit of an incline. Just pull the front brake lever and the thing activates the back brake, and you can sit there fat, dumb and happy. So I really like that. Cruise control I haven't used today. We've got keyless ignition, no problems there, just takes a little while for everything to sequence up. And then we've got the heated grips on this one, and I think on the R you have to go through the accessories package to fit those. So on the GT they are standard. Talk about the bike and design, I really like it. It just looks, you can either look at it, polish it, put it in your hallway, put it in your garage, uplighters. Yeah, I think it's just a very nice bit of kit. My wife doesn't like it, but she's not getting it on the back. You've got the headlights at the front, very nice, like the twin headlights at the front, and all the lights are LED. The exhaust itself is hydroformed. That's just the way they shape the exhaust, and again it's all beautifully finished. And then the pillion footrests here, they fold out, and that's quite a nice touch, so you actually wouldn't know that you've got pillion footrests on here. And again, I just wouldn't want to sit on there, but you can get through the options and accessories catalogue, you can get a cover to come on here to get rid of that as well. But I guess it's pretty good if you want to put a roll bag on there or something. And then we've got those massive tyres, those Avon chrome tyres, the Avon Cobra chrome tyres, and I think there's a 240mm on the back, 150 on the front, so massive tyres. And I think if you want to, again, if you've got one of these, how long does it take you to get through one of those tyres, normal riding, not sort of spinning up all the time without the traction control on? How long does it take you to get through one of those tyres? Because it is massive. And I jumped on the internet, I think they're about 220 quid for a back tyre. But how long does it last before you have to go and buy another one? Or do you buy two and get a discount? I don't know. The overall feel of the bike, yeah, it's just very nicely put together. So we've got the Stylema monoblock brakes at the front there. And then you've got Showa adjustable suspension at the front and the rear as well. Most people don't play around with it, but yeah, have a little bit of a tinker with it. And as I've out and about riding the bike, giving it the full beans and all that kind of stuff, yeah, it's a little bit on the firm side. You're going over a rough surface, you do feel it, but it's okay. It's a radiator obviously, and there's some nice detail finishes on the brushed aluminium Mons, or whatever you want to call that, for the radiator cap. And then you've got the oil cap down here. Actually, not many YouTubers point that out, but you've got an oil cap down here on the left hand side. And then the fuel cap as well. So although it's keyless, you've just got to flick it up, put your key in here, and then put the fuel tank plug somewhere when you go and refill it. But yeah, maybe they could have done something there, but yeah, that's pretty straightforward to use. Fly screen, yeah, I've been riding it so far, it's okay. Touring on the sort of motorway, 60-70 miles an hour, should be okay, but it is what it is. It's a big muscle bike with very little wind protection, and I don't think I want to be sat there for too many hours riding it. Handlebars really comfortable actually. I like the riding position, and the switches, yeah, switches are fine. I'm just not a great lover, as I said on the video, of the cube button beneath the indicator. Yeah, I always found those a little bit close. Other than that, yeah, full riding mode's easy to operate on the move, and there is a difference between rain mode and the other modes as well. The rain mode is nice and soft, and I like the way that everything is hidden within the handlebars, so it's very nicely done. 18 litre fuel tank here, and range wise what we get out of that, so 32 miles to the gallon. So before you have to get off and push it, about 164 miles before you've got to push it. But again, all beautifully finished. Those of you just out of interest, if you do your own home servicing, you'll have to to get to the oil filter, you just have to undo the lower section of the radiator, hinge it forward, and then that will give you access to the oil filter, and you fill the oil up via the cap on the left hand side here. So what else is there to talk about? The brushed exhaust heat shield. Yeah, as I've mentioned in the video, the inside of my right calf, is that the calf? Yeah, inside of my right leg beneath the knees, just felt the heat just touching these heat shields here, so just got to be wary of that. It's a big engine, 2458cc. If you've got it, flaunt it. So Triumph quite clearly are flaunting it, and I think it looks fabulous. Love the exhaust down the back here, very pretty, very pretty. I like it. Huge back tyre, and then I think it's 107 mil of travel on the rear shower suspension unit. So maybe because there's not that much travel, you do feel the bumps, but it's a heavy bike, it's got a support, folks. So, and how much does that weigh? Let's have a look. It weighs, I've got it on the back here, so this bike weighs 294 kilos dry. So it's no lightweight, and the whole suspension has got to support the bike. So maybe that's why you do feel a few of the lumps and bumps on the road surface. But the way the engine is finished, 2,500cc written up here, beautiful, beautifully finished. As I said, this has got the mid pegs. I really like those, and I think there's just blanking plates down here for where the forward pegs should be. But just speak to your dealer, and I'm sure you could come to some agreement with them throwing those in free of charge if that's what you like. But I really like those, but I've never tried a bike with the forward foot peg, so I don't know really. And yeah, just the single-sided swinging arm exposing the rear wheel here, beautiful, really like that. And the back as well, I quite like it, all looks good. And then you've got the shaft drive on the left hand side here, and then one of the exhausts beneath the shaft drive. So it all looks really, I think it looks really pretty actually, but some people might, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some people like Ferraris, some like Porsches, some like blondes, some like brunettes, each to their own. But I think it's a nice bike, I really like it. So if you want to go into the Triumph catalogue, you can throw over 50 extras at this, folks. So this hasn't got the Triumph shift assist, and going on some of the forums, they do recommend, to get the most benefit out of this whilst you're hanging on onto the torque curve, go for the shift assist. That's going to cost you 375 quid. They also say don't really bother with the connectivity Bluetooth integrated phone and music operation module. They say don't bother with that, which has got the turn navigation, because that will cost you 225 quid. And to be honest, you could maybe fit your phone on there, on the handlebars, or a Garmin Zumo XT, which is what my go-to navigation, and I can play music through that as well. So yeah, some of the forums, they don't sort of recommend that. Tyre pressure monitoring system, that's going to cost you £250. I more than likely would tick that box. And then if you just wanted to get rid of the pillion seat at the back, there's an infill panel that you can, or infill bit that you can put on there, and that's going to cost you 150 quid. And then if you want to go touring, the actual framing panniers are going to cost you £885. You can get a little rack to put on the back here, and that will cost you 220 quid. So yeah, you just have to go in, tick all the extras that you want. So yeah, you could certainly spec it up, but at the moment, as it stands, without the gear shift assistance, this is £23,735 in the grey as well. So I think it looks really good. And Tony, who's the sales manager down at the Mansell Collection, he says the red one looks really, really good. But they do the R version, the GT version. I'll put something up here. So they're the two basic flavours, and then they have flavours within the R and the GT version as well. So there's lots of bikes to choose from. But I think it's a big bike, and you need a big wallet as well. What else is there? So 2-year warranty, and you can add an extra 2 years for about £400. So that's 4 years total. And then when you buy the bike, you get 2 years RAC and Europe breakdown cover as well. Some people put the bigger screens on, but is that going to spoil the look of the bike? I would say possibly yes, but I guess if you're going on a long tour, then maybe you just want to put a bigger screen on there to make it a bit more comfortable. But I think you could be sat there at 60, 70, not too much of a problem. Maybe not with an open face helmet. But again, if you've got one of these, make some comments in the comment section down below so other people can get a better idea. It's a shame you've got to put your key in there, but maybe that's something less to go wrong. So maybe they've got that right with that as well. So that is the Triumph Rocket 3 GT, a bike, guys. Milo, come here, mate. Come here. Come here. No. Right, you lay down there. Milo, lay down. Come here. Come here. Down. As you can see, very well trained. Guys, lay down. Right, so yeah, a bike, I really like it. I think it's a cracking bit of kit. If I had the money, yeah, I'd have one in my garage tomorrow, not a problem. The engine, very smooth, a little bit vibey, possibly get a little bit of vibration on the mirrors, but yeah, the torque in it is absolutely amazing. Really is quite impressive, and I can see why they've got a bit of a hump in the seat here, because when you do sport mode, open throttle, yeah, it just stops you sliding off the back. So yeah, very it's like a fairground ride really. It's very entertaining, very entertaining. When you put it in rain mode, yeah, you do have a noticeable difference in the throttle response. It's you know, a lot, not smoother, but yeah, you've got to wind it a bit more before things start happening. But yeah, yeah, riding mode's fine, absolutely no problem at all. And I guess what else we need to talk about? Build quality overall, yeah, can't really fault it. Under here you've got a USB charger, I think it is. I think it's a USB charger under the seat, so you can put your phone in there and charge the seat. That's a 5-volt USB power socket under there, and apparently there is a 12-volt DIN socket. Oh yeah, it's just here. So you've got a 12-volt DIN socket just forward of the handlebars there as well, but I actually didn't see that, so that's quite well hidden. So yeah, you can charge your GPS or phone if you want to use it for navigation on there as well. So they've pretty much thought about everything. So yeah, roll bag, rucksack, boof, who are its rivals, I suppose. So you've got the Ducati Diavel, and that's £23,595, and that's 93 foot-pounds of torque. That weighs 211 kilos. And then you've got the Harley Davidson Fat Bob, if I pronounce that right, that's 18,995 pounds, and that produces 114 foot-pounds of torque, and that weighs 296 kilos. I'm not sure if that's dry or wet, but this is 294 kilos dry and produces 163 foot-pounds of torque. So that's more or less 50 foot-pounds of torque more than the Harley Davidson. And my BMW, a lowly 136 horsepower, produces 105 foot-pounds of torque. Hey Kira? Yeah. So that is all the specifications done, folks. Hope you haven't found it too boring. Beautifully put together bike. I like it. Let's continue with the video. Well, that's the specifications all out the way. So in relation to cruising, obviously I've got a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit where I live, and I would say very, very comfortable in the few hours that I've been riding the bike. Again, there's very little wind protection. You've got the little screen here which comes as standard with the GT model, and I would say yes, I think you're going to be okay 60, 70 miles an hour or thereabouts. But make any comments in the comment section down below. I'd be loath to put on an aftermarket or a bigger screen. I just think it would spoil the looks. But if you're using it on a regular basis, I guess you might want to put something a little bit bigger on. If I had the money, yeah, I'd have one in my garage, but I haven't got the money, so I won't get one in my garage. Very quickly, just summing up then, because it is only just my thoughts kind of ride. If you're going to buy one of these, you're going to buy one anyway, regardless of what I say. But those of you who just like to watch YouTube videos, cup of tea, a couple of biscuits, then here we go then. So big bike, big numbers. For a big bike, it handles well. It shouldn't handle like it does. You can actually get carried away with it, and as I mentioned earlier, quite easy to get the back brake looking up on you, because you're riding a little bit quicker really, because it's just goading you on a little bit. So yeah, big bike, it certainly goes all right, handles really nicely for its size. Slow speed manner wise then, so if you're maneuvering the bike in car parks or whatever, and you've got the engine running on the clutch etc off of a yellow line, just be a little bit careful, because I have actually had the engine cut out a couple of times on me, just I didn't give it enough clutch. But it's a big engine, you know, 2.5 litre engine, so yeah, use the clutch accordingly. And the turning circle is pretty much okay actually. Brakes wise, we've already mentioned those Stylium monoblock brakes at the front, and I think it's a Brembo brake at the back, and all very good actually. The controls, yeah, I just don't like the cube thing, but they're all backlit, nicely laid out, yeah, all fine. Mirrors, I like the bar end mirrors, always a fan of the bar end mirrors. Little bit of vibration once you get going, but yeah, other than that, very pleasant. I love the finish of the bike as well, as we've touched on before. Yeah, it's just very pleasant. I wouldn't want to take a pillion on the back, and then if you want to go away, rucksack on the back, or you go and fork out £1,000 for the side luggage and the carrier mounting system to go with it, with all the 50 plus options stroke accessories that you can put on the bike. But that engine is something else, and some people actually go and get the ECU reflashed. Well done folks, far braver than I am. Tyre wise then, from those Avon Cobra Chrome tyres or whatever they're called, I think the back tyre is about 220 quid. Again, comments down below, how long did you get out of the back tyre? And the front tyre is pretty big as well. I think it's a 150 on the front and the back is a 240, so pretty big. But for big tyres, big bike, yeah, it does handle. It handles and it stops amazingly well, and from a comfort point of view, found it really comfortable. I don't know what the R bars would be, slightly lent forward I guess, but these bars, yeah, I like these bars. I don't know if I'd get on with the forward foot pegs, so I'm happy that the dealership has got these mid pegs fitted. Yeah, really like those, very comfortable, really nice. And the only downside is, yeah, just a little bit of heat on the inside of my right leg there. But yeah, just a very nice bike, really like it. I wouldn't go too up touring on it because I don't think that rear pillion seat is comfortable enough. But again, make any comments in the comment section down below. Some people put different seats on them, etc. But this one is quite supportive. Yeah, it's alright, and when you accelerate, it just stops you sliding back. So all in all, Triumph, I think you've done a cracking job. So that's me done. I think we've covered everything else. I think great bike, very expensive, big bike, big numbers. I like it. Am I going to get one? No, I can't afford it. Would I like one? Yes, I would. So back to the dealer. Thanks very much guys for letting me take it out. It's been an absolute pleasure and a giggle. So anyway, back to the dealer. Bosh. Well, that's it. We're nearly back at the Mansell Collection. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe it's a bit of a long one by the time I've done the editing, but I hope it's been of some interest to you folk who were interested in the Triumph Rocket 3 GT. Very impressive bike. Those of you that have got the dosh to go and buy one, well done. And I do wonder whether you'd get used to the 164 foot-pounds of torque, and you might want to get some more torque for the machine. So yeah, as ever, make some comments in the comment section down below. I've really enjoyed the bike, and that's a good bike as well actually. That's fun on that one. Yeah, thanks very much guys, really good day out. There's another one there, look, Triumph. They're getting common as really. Yeah, fun. And the only thing I've got to make sure is don't drop it when you're moving it around. The lock's pretty good on it, and just be careful with the clutch when you let it out, because if you stall it, 269 kilos, it's not light, but perfectly manageable. Thanks so much folks, I had a great time on the Triumph Rocket 3 GT. As ever, do all that YouTubey stuff. I've enjoyed it. My legs got a bit warm on the right hand side, but we've had fun. Take care, comments down below, ride safe, and we'll see you again soon. Cheerio for now. I'm going to have a glass of water. Bye.